CGTN, we are live in Sydney, Australia at an incredible festival. It's the Vivid Sydney Light Festival, and it is the 11th year that this festival has taken place, the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere. Behind me is one of the attractions, and to join me now, Sandra Chipchase, who is the CEO of Destination New South Wales and the executive producer of Vivid. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you very much, and ni hao.
Yeah, well, thank you. Tell me a little bit about what it is behind us that people are enjoying.
Sure. Well, this light installation is called Let It Snow, and there are a group of designers. Interestingly, one of them is Jing Li, and she's originally from Guangzhou, and it's designed to give people the impression of what it's like to be in the snow. So you'll see little bits of snow start, and then more and more, and of course it's designed to be interactive, so for the children to run through it and play and just enjoy and have fun.
Which is exactly what's happening. Now this festival, this is the 11th year, is that correct?
That's right.
When this started, I'm sure it was markedly different than what is known today.
Well, it is. It was very small. We started as a showcase of smart light technology, and because it was pretty, people thought, tourists might want to come and have a look. So they went to the tourism authorities. The first year, 225,000 people came, and it was just around this Circular Quay area. When Destination New South Wales was formed in 2011, the government said to us, well, what do you think you could do with this? And we said, we'd love to make it the largest event in Australia. Well, we achieved that after a couple of years, and of course now, as you said, the largest event of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere.
And we should kind of put things into context here. I'll have Laszlo we are right behind the camera now is Sydney Harbour, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which we will show you more of just over to my left, your right if you're watching this, and then just across the water, as we spin a little bit further, you'll see the iconic Opera House, the sails of the Opera House lit up in a spectacular display, giving you some indication of what we're talking about, what this has grown into. How do you describe this festival to people today?
Yeah, it's a festival of light, music and ideas. There are three pillars. So, of course, everybody knows the light. But this year, we have over 50 installations at 8 precincts across the city. These installations have been designed by 100 artists, and they've come from 17 countries around the world.
And when you first started out, we were talking about this before, that getting artists here wasn't difficult, but it's nowhere near as easy as it is today.
No, well, of course, we have a global expression of interest that goes out, and we get people from all over the world. We get seasoned, professional, award-winning light artists. We get groups of students at universities and high schools that submit designs, so we choose them based on merit. Sometimes we have to step in and help some of the students to build them, so put them in touch with engineers. But other times, we're just spoilt for choice, and like we are this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think calling it just a festival of light kind of shortchanges it a little bit, because there's more to it than that, although the lights certainly are, as we see, very prominent.
Well, that's right. We have over 140 music events across the city at about 30 venues, and 140 ideas events. So we bring thought leaders from around the world in their specialty areas to share knowledge, to create collaboration, and I'm very pleased to say that every year we have a lot of artists from China in the Vivid Light Walk. In fact, we've got 6 this year.
And we're talking about world-class artists from all over the world who participate in this on an annual basis. They don't just show up and say, hey, I've got something for you. They have to go through a process now.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of the light installations are made from recycled materials. Some are powered by the sun. All of the light walk is 100% green power accredited. So we're very conscious of our environmental footprint, and every year we're just blown away by the ingenuity, the creativity and the sheer beauty of what people create.
Yeah, if there's one theme this year that really stands out for you, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, what do you think it is?
I think it's sustainability. People are concerned about the planet, so we're seeing a lot of installations that reference, for example, bees making honey or fireflies and their role in the ecosystem, as well as I say, we've seen 3D printed sculptures that are made from recycled plastic.
And this is the kind of thing that you can describe it to people all day long, but until you see it, it really just doesn't, the scale of it doesn't make sense.
No, well, last year we had 2.25 million people come to see it over the 23 days and of course in nights for the light. We last year we were able to track 185,000 Vivid Sydney travel packages, so air, accommodation, touring, and so on, from interstate and overseas, and 23,000 of those visitors came from China alone.
So the impact, the reputation, it's beginning to sell itself. Well, I'm sure that happened a few years ago, but now the reputation is not only artists lining up to take part, but also obviously tourists coming here as well.
It's very true, and I think particularly with the artists, we used to have to reach out to people to explain what we are and what it's about, and to encourage people to come. Now global artists are coming to us, which is fantastic because they've heard about it. It's sort of in the international sphere, and it's a really good opportunity for artists to showcase their own creativity, but also for us to share some of ours.
Yeah. I wonder if 11 years ago that's how you thought things would work out.
No, I think everybody was hoping that it would have a good life and be able to sustain the numbers. But this exponential growth, this turbocharging, has been fabulous, and it's not only made us very proud, but we get a chance to welcome the world, which is brilliant.
Quite a bright, spectacular way. Sandra Chipchase, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Vivid.
Well, thank you. Well, I think it's time to go have a look. Thank you again. We'll walk this way. We're going to take you across down to the harbour as we follow the staircase here. The interesting thing about this, there are more than 50 installations. That doesn't include what you're about to see, projections on the Opera House itself, on walls of buildings throughout, and of course it's a little bit dark here. Once we come through, you follow me here, we'll take you across. A lot of the attractions have to compete with boats that are lit up as we go. Guide you this way. 2.25 million people attended the 23-day festival last year, and they are looking at possibly beating that this year. We have a look at what I'm talking about. Just over the harbour. I'm not sure how well this is. Got a little bit of a step as you go down. The sales of the Opera House, the images, they are not only just a chance to highlight those sales, but these are works of art that are projected. Often, many of these things tell stories. In this case, you can spend some time looking at this. Of course, they're dim, and you'll get a real sense of what it is the artists were attempting to convey. I'm not sure how well you can see over to the right, but there are beams of light that are shot up all across. This is the circular quay area of Sydney Harbour here, where many of the shops, restaurants, the commuter boats are coming and going daily, carrying thousands and thousands of people. You can see some of the images across the water that are lighting up. There are installations such as the one we started out with just a few moments ago, where they are interactive and allowing people to be a part of them. Others tell a story, others messages, and others are just incredible works of art that people are able to enjoy. As Sandra had mentioned, it's not just lights, although that is certainly the key selling point here, but there is music, there is a lot of creativity that goes on in the 23-day festival. It's also something that generates a phenomenal amount of money for this area. Actually 172 million, I believe, more than 172 million Australian dollars generated from tourism alone over the 23-day festival last year. And again, if things work out well, the weather cooperates over the nearly 3-week period this time, they could very well beat that. Again, I think the biggest draw for a lot of people is the Opera House, especially in the day. But during this 23-day festival, it's a pretty magnificent sight. Take you back over this way. Have a look at this one too. The other very iconic site here, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Not only is it a source of some of the lights, but and functional as it's carrying commuters home from a busy day, but the light show is spectacular. In the foreground, you can see that interactive installation that we were talking about that has only been on for just a couple of minutes, and they've had dozens of people walk through with children. Really kind of gives you the feeling of snow at this point, which I think is part of what the artist was hoping for here. Again, you're watching CGTN Live. We are at the Vivid Sydney Festival here in 2019, the 11th year that this festival has taken place. It started out with attracting, I think, about 800,000 people. Last year alone, more than 2 million, actually 2.25 million people attended this, walked through the circular quay here in Sydney along the harbour over the 23-day festival. There are installations and artworks, not just here in the centre of Sydney, but in some of the suburbs as well. But of course, this particular area that you're looking at now is the main draw, and one of the biggest reasons is what you're looking at now, the iconic Opera House, which again will, over this 23-day period, project images, tell stories, and draw tens of thousands of people a day. All right, well, again, you're watching CGTN Live here at in Sydney and the Vivid Sydney Festival. If you get the chance, if you're anywhere near here, it is definitely worth the trip. 23 days, more than 50 artists, with an expected attendance of well over 2 million people. I'm Greg Navarro. You're watching CGTN Live.